Alright, so the S15 is looking good now that it's dropped on those RSR lowering springs. And now what I want to do is get this X-Force 3-inch exhaust upgraded so that it is valved. So this unit here is just an unvalved version, and I have an X-Force unit that is valved that I want to replace that back muffler section with. So it's just the end piece, and I'll show you what I mean. But what the plan is to run the wiring somewhere back here, and then to have the controls there. So what I want to do is remove that little coin slot, because who uses coins these days, and have the little switch for the exhaust flap in there, which I think would be a really convenient spot. And hopefully this installation will be nice and clean, because this is the idea. Okay, so here's that Varex muffler. It's just that little back section which I'll need to get welded on the brackets and also matched up at this point here. And you can see that this is all the usual kit that you'd get with it, like this little controller, the remotes and cigarette lighter, all this stuff. But I've chopped that off, don't need that, because I'm gonna hardwire it up to the car itself. So this is what I've done, and I ordered one of these awesome switches. You can see it's got this like cool logo on it, open and close with a little exhaust on it, which is pretty awesome. And I got that from got it from a website called SwitchBoss, and you can see their URL there, and you can customize the switches to how you want them to be. And you know, they had this awesome option here with an open close, and you want to get the one that has this has 7 contacts on it, but you're just really going to use the 6 contacts that are you can see that I've utilized there. And there are many wiring diagrams for this 6 switch or 6 contact switching option, and it's momentary switches. But what I'll do is I'll flash up a wiring diagram for you so you can follow it. And basically it just crosses over the 2 top points, and then one of the 2 top points then goes to the actuator here, and then you're able to control it. So you can see that you can hear it opening and closing here. And I know you can't see it, but that open and close is lighting up as I press it, which is pretty awesome. And I'll show you through the exhaust with a little light on the end as I operate the switch. So you can see the switch works really nicely here to open and close that valve. You do have sort of finer control by pressing it nice and short, but really you're just going to have it on open or closed most of the time. But with a short press, there's that 50% option as well. Alright, so now you've seen how that Varex operates with that little switch. It's time to start stripping the interior a little bit and routing the wires. So I think this is the way that I'll go. So the plan is to remove this little center console section, and I'll run a wire. Hopefully I can get it nice and quickly underneath the carpet and then through the back there. So the spare wheel has to be removed, of course. And then for power, I'm going to run the rest of the wire, of course, all the way down, under, and through to the kick panel. Here where all these fuses are, with one of those piggyback fuses that I showed you as part of the kit that I've got to install all this. So let's get that happening. So once you've got rid of all your crap, there are 6 screws to undo here. And then you also want to remove the gear knob and the assembly around the gear stick, just so that you can get access to those screws. Okay, awesome. So once you get to this point, this is loose, and then if you sneak a look under here, there are 2 more screws to remove. And I think I'll be able to sort of wiggle this around and maybe take it out, but I don't really need to, because all I need to do is get access to pop this guy out and then install the switch and sneak the wiring in underneath. So really, I want to get rid of those 2 screws and then see how it goes. Now, normally you'd be able to just lift this piece of trim out and forward if you had a screen that was in there and flush, but because I've got this big ass 9-inch screen, I'm just gonna have to live with just having this loose and see how I go, because removing that is a little bit of a ball ache, so I'm not going to do it. Cool. So I've got those 2 screws removed. One there, the other one you can see here. Done. So now I'm able to lift this up a little bit more and manipulate it to see if I can get some access to run wiring and stuff. With all those screws undone, I was able to lift up the back portion of that center console and pop the coin tray out. So that was the easy part. And then it was time to fit the switch with all the wiring attached to it, because I wasn't going to undo that wiring and then try and get it in from underneath. So I could see that there was this little tab like thing that would hold that coin tray in. You can see it on the top left hand side of the coin tray slot. And so this is where a little bit of grinding needs to be done so that a switch like this can be fitted in there. So once you do this modification, you will be able to return that coin slot back. You probably just have to stick it in there somehow because it won't be fastened in by that little tab. But with a switch, you probably won't want to revert back to the coin slot anyway. So it fits really, really nicely, by the way. So that switch is in, but I won't show you just yet because it looks a lot better than I expected, which is kind of cool. So for the motor, I'm just going to sneak it underneath there. You can see, and I don't have to remove the seats just yet, but I think I might have to anyway, just to run that wiring all the way back into the boot. And then, sneak preview, here I'm going to have to extend the part that will go to the fuse box. So then I can just run it sort of like under there through that dash trim and then let it join the main loom underneath, and then remove that little kick panel and piggyback it off one of the ignition power fuses there. So yeah, as I suspected, the rear bench had to come off. So now I'm going to be able to get the wiring all the way to the back, just flip that down and then run it all the way into the boot and then find a way for it to exit. But what I've also done here is I've undone these 2 screws for the airbag module cover, because you can't just feed it through with the plug in place. So that'll just help keep everything nice and neat, because I'll run the wiring through and under there and then through here and then into the back. Lovely. Okay, so I've got it past the seat and over that hump where the fuel pump is accessed, and I'm just going to pull that whole length through now, and then the job is to figure out the best exit for that plug. Now the exhaust is over here, so I just want to try to find something on this side. But if not, there are many options on the other side, which is a little bit annoying because you've got this, I can see a rubber bung there, another rubber bung here, there, and then the main one here as well. So many of options on this side, but I'm gonna just have a little look-see to see what's over here, if anything's hidden or something, that I can get it out on the correct side for the fab guys to then be able to hook it up real quickly. Cool. All right, so I've decided to utilize that grommet, which already had like a big hole in it, but I did need to de-pin the plug so that I could get it in that hole easily, and then I'll be able to feed it and just route it through to where that valved motor is going to be underneath. Okay, so just to give you an idea of where I routed the wiring, so it's come out of this grommet, and then I've just got it going across up here. Sorry, you can't really see, but space is tight. And then I've just got it bunched up here for now, but then that will mean the fabricator will be able to fab up the muffler, have it on the hangers, and then they'll easily be able to just pull that and then plug it in. Now, really handy little tip is that you can use, there's a hole here already, which you can see I've utilized for this little zip tie fastener thingy, and there's another one that I've used up in here as well. So again, there is already a hole there. I didn't have to do anything to get the hole. I didn't have to drill it or anything. The hole was already there, so I just was able to pop that in and then route the wiring a really neat way. So there you go, that's that. So this is the X-Force non-valved muffler with a 3-inch system. And then just a reminder of what's going in and how it looks installed. And now you can see the switch, it looks really good, and here it is in action. Some driving shots here so you can hear the differences when the Varex is closed versus when it's open, and giving it a little bit of a rev. Now if you've come this far in the video, thank you for watching. Remember to press that button in the bottom right hand corner to subscribe to my channel. Now some stationary sound clips for you. And I just wanted to show you close up the button because it's actually really good, or should I say the switch. You can see the icons here, open and close, and then there's that muffler icon in the middle. It's really awesome, and you can get these from switchboss.com.au. You haven't paid me or anything, I just think it's a really cool product and it deserves a plug. So yeah, definitely check them out. You can customize the icon and the text to what you want. So yeah, just remember switchboss.com.au. And now some drive-by sound clips. Enjoy. Alright, and that's it. I'm really happy with the result of this Varex muffler and the S15 Silvia. Let me know which one you think is better. Do you like the stock sound? Did you like the non-valved X-Force option? Or do you prefer the Varex switching muffler version with that awesome SwitchBoss switchgear? Let me know in the comments below, and if you like my content, remember to like and subscribe. There's going to be more S15 200SX videos coming soon. Bye.